because I'm having trouble logging onto YouTube. So now I'm live. Kim. So you could jump over to YouTube if you want to. 4 minutes late. I love that you guys actually like remember it's Monday night and like, oh, Deborah's on. Some of you are like, no, I never remember. I just am on my Facebook page and then you pop up and I get you. I'm with you. But some of you do say, where were you last night? I was looking for you. And I'm like, you remembered? Like you actually care? That amazes me. So welcome. Thank you for your patience with me. I forgot that I have to log on to YouTube using Chrome and not my usual browser, whatever it is called. So it's Monday night. Wow. Fun times. Last week on my Facebook page, I asked a question, like start to submit questions to me so I kind of know like what we can talk about and know where we're going. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Hey, Donna. Guys, don't forget to tell me where you're logging in from. And Melissa, everybody on Facebook, yes, I am on YouTube. I just had a few minutes of technical difficulties. So I'm now on it. So you guys, if you have questions that like kind of pop in your head in the week, you can just write them on my Facebook page, my main one, not my like private one, even though my private one still says Intuitive Medium Deborah, it's still private. But then I have like the fan page. I have fans. I don't think we're fans. I feel like we're friends. So you could post them there and people have been, and it's really cool for me to see that. So a couple things on my mind. I do have questions that came in during the week, but I love when you guys say, oh my God, wait, someone just said, this is Deborah. I love her. Hold on, Kim. Oh, Kim, it's Kim. Of course it's you. Thank you, Kim. So I love when you guys say to me, oh my God, I just watched this show and you need to see it. Or I thought of you. I want you to watch it. Tell me your opinion. And I would get very overwhelmed in the past because confession alert. I don't think it's a confession. Actually, I think you guys know this about me. I loathe the username and password situation that we are all stuck in our lives, because I need to do an iris reading. You need to read my eyeball, because hopefully my eyeball will be with me at any point that I need to see something and watch it. And you read it and you know, oh, there's Deborah. Let's get her into her emails, her apps, her TV, I don't know. I mean, do we need iris reading for like to go to the bathroom eventually? Probably. I can't do usernames and passwords, right? My ring is not on my right hand. It might be on transposed. It really is on my left hand. This is my left hand. So it's probably, I might be backwards. I just saw that picture. Wouldn't that be fun? People like, I'll be like J-Lo and people are like, J-Lo doesn't have a ring on anymore. Now it's like, Deborah put it on her right hand. What does this mean? Nope, it's on my left. Thank you for noticing them. So username, password, whatever. And Netflix, I don't find it easy to use. I don't, because you need your username and your password. And I don't know, I got 90,000 devices. I got a laptop, a desktop, a MacBook, an iPad, phone, a real TV. If I change it on one, change it across all the devices, but then you have to log back in. Then by the time I do that, I can't find password. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to read, because that's not complicated for me. I can't do a Kindle, can't read on my iPad, same reasons. So when all of you would say to me like, yo, you have to watch this series on Netflix, I'd be like, I'm not getting into Netflix. It's not happening. It's just not happening. And I just abandoned ship, because I know myself. I'll want to watch it, and then I'll be totally pissed off that I can't get in. And then I'll start spewing over how it's 2021 and we have technology and how come we need to know a password and you change it one place. You know, I do that. So this weekend, a few of you, or this past week, a few of you have said, oh my God, Netflix has this, what do you call it, show on called Surviving Death. You have to watch it. My friend Laura Daniels said, you need to watch this. Like, I don't want to hear your freaking password excuses. You need to watch it. So I'm like, let me see what it's about. All right. And I don't know, by the stroke of the universe, seriously, the universe worked. I was able to pull it up on my iPad, like no problem. I don't really use my iPad that much, especially for Netflix. So it was a simple transition. I could type in instead of that whole remote thing where it's like up, 4, like 2 over, oops, down to caps lock. I don't understand that. My brain will never comprehend how we still have to do that on a remote control in 2021, but that's a whole other rant. So I get in and I start watching it at my kitchen table. I've never watched a show at my kitchen table ever, because how would you do that? Watch the first episode and I loved it. I loved it. I loved it for a few reasons. So for those of you who did not see this series and you can get into Netflix, go look at Netflix Surviving Death. 6 episodes, very well done. I'm not a fan of everything that happened and went down. I have my own opinions about things, but overall, phenomenal. I would give it a 9 out of 10 for sure. So I think that's pretty good for me. And I'm very, very critical of anything portrayed paranormal. I hate the paranormal. I hate the haunting stuff, because to me that's like 1850s, and I want to like get us past the old school way of understanding energy and human consciousness, right? So I feel like this started pulling us forward in the way that I want to be pulled forward. So it was very well done. I absolutely, completely say, please, please, please watch it. So let me see what you guys are saying. Hello. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Yes, Helen, I do know that. Mike, yes. Really? Did Gwyneth Paltrow's company produced it? They did another good show. Does anybody know her? Like, can somebody be like, hey, Gwyneth, pal, I have a friend named Deborah. She likes you. Could we talk? Because I love Goop and all that stuff that she has. So some of you had asked some questions on before. Oh my gosh, Carrie, of course. She said, of course you're talking about Netflix being so difficult. Now I went in and it won't come on. Black screen, what'd you do? Yeah, that is how like technology works with me. I can't tell you how many times I've been into like wherever, anywhere, cash register, you're at the store somewhere, library. Well, I don't go to libraries. That was a lie. What was I trying to think of? Bookstore. Libraries. I haven't been into a library since like, I must have taken my kids to the library. So I don't know. We got to ask them. Have you ever been to a library, guys? Bookstores, they know with me. I don't know. I don't remember library. But anyway, the computer systems always break down on me. Always break down. And they're like, it's really weird. It never happens. I'm like, it's not weird. It happens every time I'm near technology. Something happens and my blood pressure rises. And, I like to consider myself Zen, but I'm not, especially when things break down on me. So yeah, keep a small, tiny notebook with all your passwords. No, I do that. I have it. I don't go anywhere with my daily to-do list notebook. I am so type A in that way. It's really weird. So I write the password, but I'm ADD. I don't write it like January 11th, 2021. Here's the password. No. And I know keychain access. I know about that stuff. But yeah, sometimes the password thing just doesn't work for me. And I get crazy. And I'm not going to be like work through my difficulties. I'm going to be like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it anymore. I give up. I surrender. I'm not supposed to watch it. Not meant to be. I do that whole thing. And my whole family's like, Ma, it's easy. You just need. I'm like, my iTunes password. Oh, forget when that gets all screwed up, because I can't get into anything. So So anyway, you guys started posting some really great questions. And I couldn't get access to some of them tonight. So a lot of you, Phyllis, if you're on here, I haven't seen you yet, but Phyllis, you wrote a lot of really great questions. And if you are here and you can access your questions, if you don't mind writing them back, because I do remember I wanted to get to all your questions. And for those of you that have generalized questions about energy, the other side, this is what this night is about. I like to remind you guys, the whole point of why I do this Monday night thing is to remind you guys that you're smarter than you know, you're more in touch and in tune with what you know, you're more powerful inside as a human being, a human energy, a human spirit. And I don't mean a spirit like a haunting spirit. I mean your human energy. You're more powerful, and you don't need a medium to do anything for you. That is why I do these Monday nights. I love to teach. I love to see people get really happy that they have taken steps to change their life in a way that feels enriching on the soul or core level, whatever you want to call it. That's all. I literally live for that, you guys. I know that sounds silly, but I have no other hobbies. Maybe eating. I like eating. So, but I have no other hobbies. This is my hobby. You guys make me really excited for being like able to talk about my hobby, because this is all I care about. So please watch Surviving Death. I'd love your opinions, positive and negative. I love to hear both sides of things. I do like that when I see this stuff in regular mainstream media, I get really happy because I do feel this was very well done. I feel they really did a great job of balancing the whole like debate over science and what's provable and what is not provable, but it is so known. It is so known. It's that inner knowing. I think they did a really good job. There's parts of it that make you go, a little bit about the mediumship part that kind of got to me. I love hearing that other mediums because I don't like hang out with mediums, you know what I mean? So, because most are like super batshit freaking weird. So, and I'm sorry to say that, and I love you as a human being, but I like groundedness. That makes me sound judgmental, and possibly that is a judgmental statement I just made, but nope, it is a judgmental statement I just made. I'll own it. But you guys know what I mean. You guys are here. You know me. I like to be pretty ordinary and boring, and I'm not all like, oh, yes, I feel all your spirits. I don't like that I'm not a big fan personally of trance mediumship. I think I've yet to experience personally a trance medium that is boom on. Never. I haven't. In fact, I've met one that was a scary, scary fraud. Some of you came with me years and years ago to that. That was like criminal what this person I feel did. So, okay, so we have some questions here. So watch it. It's really good. So in this, Christina, that's a great question. This is part of what I had a hard time with. So I'm glad you asked that. The ectoplasm, was that real? So, right, what do we all think of when we hear the word ectoplasm? Yep, collectively, if you are over the age of 30, right? Maybe 35. We all just said the Ghostbusters movie, right? Because they had that machine that shot ectoplasm, which wasn't, or that green globby thing. No, they had a machine that, I don't know, there was ectoplasm. I don't remember. I haven't seen the story in forever, but there was ectoplasm, and that was that green, slimy, gross stuff. In, I think it was episode 3, they talk a lot about this ectoplasm. I have a hard time with that one. I really do. I have a hard time with it. And basically what they were saying was ectoplasm was the material that comes out of the medium during a like trance reading, like a trance mediumship reading. I don't remember, and you guys can correct me if you saw it. I don't remember if they said all mediums have that. I feel like they did. Like, meaning people, like, I'm more of a mental medium. I see everything in my mind's eyes. So I don't remember if they say all mediums get this ectoplasm. I tell you what, guys, and well, they say that mediums, like, it comes out your nose and your mouth and your eyes and all your orifices. And she was like, yeah, all of them. And I'm like, let me tell you something. This is my hobby, you guys. I love this. I love teaching. If ectoplasm came out of any of my orifices, I know that's TMI. I know I'm giving you a visual, but I'm telling you right now, I would never do this ever again. I don't want, no, I have standards. I broke down a little bit on the ectoplasm. So I have no experience. I guess I should not say like that's fake or that's not real or whatever, because I don't know. I haven't had experience with that. I would find a new hobby very quickly if there was ectoplasm coming out of my orifices. I assure you, absolutely assure you of that. So I don't know. I don't have any experience with that. I did readings today and I'm just thinking back, like I didn't even think while I was watching the show, I was like, what? And you're okay with that? Like ectoplasm? I don't know. So I don't know where that came from. I don't know what that is. That I have a very, very hard time. I had a very hard time. Okay, Patricia. That is the other part of this show that I had. So these are the main parts I didn't like. I do think the shows on Reincarnation, I think it was the first episode of Mediumship I really liked. The very, very first episode. So episode 1, 2. I don't think I really liked 3. Can't remember what 4, 5, and 6 was on Reincarnation. Oh, Signs. I kind of like the one on Signs, kind of, but not totally. We could talk about that. But so there's a trance medium in it, and she channels energy spirits. She calls them spirits. I call them energies. And she has like 3 main spirits that she works with. One was called Silver Cloud, and her voice changes when Silver Cloud comes through her. Okay. All right. I know not that my voice changes because I'm changing my voice to sound like your loved ones, but I'm not like, oh my God, your mom is in my throat. Like, it's not like that for me. I know my experience is mine and hers is hers. I'm not saying, I just don't get my head around it. And she has a spirit that talks to her named Tommy. And Tommy's a little boy. And then when Tommy shows up, it basically, literally, Patricia, and those of you that watched it, did it not sound like Mickey Mouse, right? So if I had to like mimic any cartoon character's voice, I might do, and my God, God forgive me, I'm not bashing her. I just don't understand it, because if my voice sounded like Tommy, this is exactly what Tommy sounded like, I'm also not doing readings for you guys. If my voice sounds like freaking Mickey Mouse during a reading, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You're doing it yourself. I'll learn how to project their voice through your voice, because I'm not having Tommy boy coming through my mouth. So there were some moments that it was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not going there. I'm not buying it. This is way not my thing. So I have a hard time with the nuttiness. I freaking, this is why I don't tell people what I do. And this is why the world is still like 200 years ago, because nobody normal wants to say, we all have these cool experiences. We're all totally connected to the divine. Everyone can connect and hear your loved ones. It's harder to hear the ones you knew and loved the most and missed the most. Fact, because we're humans. Grief is a real thing, and it's harder to do that. It is much easier to sense the energy and messages of other people because your emotions aren't in the way. So those were the hard parts of this series for me. So I don't believe it does sound. It sounds totally creepy, Caitlin. There was some Tommy Boy's voice, and Silver Cloud was. I can't even do Silver Cloud's voice. So yeah, a couple weird parts. I still highly suggest you watch it. I'd like you all to listen to it with your critical mind, your rational mind, shockingly, and your intuitive selves. And then I'd love to hear what all of you say about it. So that was cool. The part on reincarnation, very fascinating. And I love that this concept is becoming more and more of a discussion in public forums, because the more we talk about it, the more our kids will remember and be able to talk about their past lives. So I know I've spoken to many of you where people will say, oh my God, my kid used to say this. And my child used to say, when I was bigger, and all that cool stuff. So the conversation is starting. Which is really good. Ooh, Phyllis, you're here. Thank you. Okay, so Phyllis says, does consciousness lapse for a period of time after death? Nope, never lapses. Because consciousness is our awareness and what it does right after death. The second we leave our body, which sometimes happens before the body even dies. I hear that all the time. So the body can be physically alive, either on life support or other, it's still alive by science standards. There's brain activity in the brain, the heart's still pumping, the body is alive, but a person can be passed before their body passes. So there's a different definition of death. Death for me is when the energy is like freed from the body. It's like freed from the confines of the body. When that happens, the energy expands rapidly, really, really fast. So you hear people talk about near-death experiences. That was the first episode. Excellent. So you hear like they go through a tunnel, or sometimes they're floating, or they're traveling really fast. That's the experience, in my opinion, experience as a medium, never had a near-death experience. Is the energy leaving the body so fast it almost feels like you're traveling through it, but it's kind of more like an internal expansion of energy. So no, consciousness does not lapse. In fact, it just expands. So here, you and I, we're only aware of our devices that we're watching this on and listening on, and maybe the outskirts of our room, but we are not able to see right now. Well, we are able to, but we're not focused to see right now what's happening in the, downstairs far corner of my home right now. What are the kids doing? What's Greg doing? So we can travel there with our consciousness. It's called astral travel, but we don't. We don't, because we're wired as humans. So we just don't. When we die, we do. We expand and we become aware of wherever we want to be aware of, wherever we focus our attention on. In the same way right now that I'm going to tell you to imagine that you listening to this right this second, your ears hearing my voice, processing my experience, the experience known as me. And all of a sudden I want you to imagine a baby whale in the Atlantic Ocean somewhere. Boom. Your consciousness went there. Your awareness went there. You might be swimming alongside in your mind, or just the awareness all of a sudden of this baby whale somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. Some of your consciousness might have went, towards Nova Scotia. Some of you might have gone to Massachusetts. Some of you might have gone closer to the coast of Africa. I don't know where you all went, but your awareness just expanded by the power of suggesting where to think about. This is the stuff that fascinates me, because I always want to bridge dying and the process of dying to how it relates to how we need to live here to enjoy this experience that very often does not feel fun, especially in the last year. The experience of being human this last year has been exponentially a little rough, right? So I'm always fascinated, like, if our consciousness expands after we leave our body, what can we still do while we're in our body? Why do we have to wait till we leave? Why? That doesn't make sense to me. Then this is a big waste of time, in my opinion. That's why I love the movie Soul, because it does address part of that part of all this discussion. But what my brain just thought like 6 things right there in that pause, trying to stay focused. I feel like somebody was going to interrupt me, but nobody's here. Like physically, nobody's here. So if we're focusing, like now I want to be inward and aware of my consciousness inward. Like, what am I telling myself all the time? How am I treating myself? What is the relationship with myself? And myself meaning all the components of my life, me in relation to and with Greg, me in relation to and with my children separately, me in my relationship to strangers, like how am I interacting and behaving? Where is my consciousness? Where do I go? How was it today when I was really tense on the line at the food store? Because someone took like 9,000 years to pay. And I like to say that I have human compassion, except when I'm like, okay, what's going on here? My son's like, Mom, just relax for a minute. I'm like, you're right. You're right. I need to find center right now. So that's a long answer and an extended answer past your question, but I like to get you guys thinking of your own consciousness, your own awareness, because that's the level that all and only change can happen. Change within yourself. Let's see. Thank you so much, Phyllis. So yeah, Cindy saying maybe ectoplasm is what it really is when we sneeze. I'm thinking ectoplasm. I'm so on the I'm not doing the ectoplasm thing. I have no experience with ectoplasm. Thank you, God. Let's see. Okay, so let's see where else. Oh, geez, all my questions just bumped. Shoot. She's so much fun while dealing with electronics. Thanks, Greg. I use an address book for my sign-ons, keep it in a safe place. Thank you, Kim. Kim understands the thing. Easy app called Dashlane. I keep all my passwords. I'm going to have to look at that. All right. I didn't buy the one ladies who talked in different voices. Yep. Didn't either. Yep. Physical medium threw you off. See, that's what I was sad about that too. Like that physical medium. I'm going to check you guys in a minute. Facebook. Hold on. Phyllis, you can't either. What did you do to me, Deb? I can't get into Facebook to see my questions. Maybe something is going on. Well, we know something's going on with Facebook right now, but I couldn't get to my, not that I couldn't get to my page, but I couldn't get to that point of my page. Let's see. They said it was painful. That's the other thing. Thank you, Michelle. They also said the ectoplasm is very painful. Guys, I'm not admitting ectoplasm out of my nose, my mouth, my whatever, and it be painful. I draw a line. That is the line. I draw the line at painful ectoplasm. I can't believe I'm having this talk right now. Like, I want to be taken seriously, but right now I'm like, the ectoplasm, Ghostbusters. I'm like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. All right, so number 2, Phyllis said, can a medium ask for a specific message from the departed? Can a medium? That's a great question, because yes, but that doesn't mean we're going to hear the answer. And this is where I understand skeptics, you guys. I totally do, because mediumship does not work in a way that our typical interactions work, our human interactions. So we cannot kind of mirror human behavior with energy behavior. And I don't like the word spirit, because it just feels too 1800s to me, to be honest. But spirit, energy, all the same. We can't put the two together, right? So when people talk about, do they have jobs in heaven? Jobs are a human concept. So no, because you can't really translate the concept of job to energy that just is. So certain things don't translate, but in translation, we have to make things make sense to humans. So we have to put it in a context that humans can understand, but it's not entirely literally. So when someone ask them what I did for their birthday this year. And these are questions I get from you guys all the time. And there's that pressure inside. Like, I so want to hear it. But I can ask, I personally during a read am asking them constantly, how'd you pass? I mean, there's a barrage of constant, like 30 questions within 4 seconds that I'm asking. And the more I do it, the faster it is. Who are you? How'd you pass? How'd you know this person? What do they need to hear? What's going on with them? How are you with them? Like, I'm asking barrage of questions. I either hear all the answer to all, I hear the answer to one or two, I get a glimpse. That's why I always write things down, because all of a sudden, as I'm asking the questions, I'm just writing down little tidbits so that I don't forget them. And I get the overall sense of their personality, so I can kind of get a sense of who they are, which will help me understand things that they say based on their personality. Like, is this sarcasm? Are they really tough? Were they nice? Were they kind? Were they sweet? All of that helps me formulate and understand the messages they're giving. So sometimes, yes, someone will say, okay, ask them this, and I will hear the answer. I would say that's not that common. It's more rare to hear it that specifically. Someone recently asked me, ask them what their favorite color was. Now, instantly, there's only a certain amount of colors. I mean, I know there's a lot of colors, but chances are that person was not going to say, oh, orchid pink with a touch of white in it. You know what I mean? Like, so that was all of a sudden when you guys ask me to ask them a question, there's a part of me that I engage with the question, Deborah, and I start thinking, I wonder what their favorite, like Deborah, me is asking, I wonder what their favorite color is, instead of hearing it purely. So in that case, all of a sudden I start seeing yellow. I hear the Coldplay song Yellow. And so, but I know it's me. I know it's me, or at least I think it's me. So then I throw myself off. Now I've engaged my mind too much on a very simple question, or what something seems to be simple. And this is why people say, well, why don't, if they could talk to dead people, why don't they answer everything? They are answering everything we're asking, everything you're asking silently in your own head. They're answering. I just might not be picking up on it. And I know that sounds lame. I know that sounds like, yeah, for a skeptic, I know that's like, yeah, sure, right. I would feel the same way. I would get it. I get that. I also had somebody ask them what was on the back of their headstone. Now, again, my mind gets engaged, but before it got engaged to think, because instantly I'm thinking it's got to be a quote, because maybe there's a quote. It's got to be a quote. That's me. I know. And I can tell the difference for the most part when I'm thinking, my human self is thinking, Deb is thinking, versus something is coming through me to me. And in that case, I quickly saw something. I won't say what it was, just in case this person, because it's not a common thing that's on the back of this headstone. And I said and said what this is. And it was one of those moments that I love, because this person didn't know me. Like, they didn't know that I curse. They don't know that, like, the F word is my favorite word. And this man said, please forgive me for this, but how the did you know that? And that was like such a cool moment for me, not to be right, but that I know that I like to be right. I always like to be right, of course. My human self likes that, but I felt so relieved for him, because he was a skeptic, and that was the coolest moment for me. So did I get off topic? So yes, can a medium ask? Yes, we can. Sometimes we will hear it. Sometimes we will misinterpret it. And sometimes we will have no idea what the answer is. And it's hard on my end to be like, I don't know. I wish I could tell you, but I don't know. But a medium has to say, yeah, I'm not getting that. I don't know. Never, in my opinion, never tell the medium, oh, well, their favorite color was this. Don't say it. And I always tell my people, listen, if I don't get it, don't tell me, because if I get it after our session, I'm going to send you the email. Oh, by the way, this was the song, or this was the favorite color, or this is what comes to me, because maybe it'll come to me when I stop engaging my mind to try to think about it. Does that make sense, you guys? All right, so hello, Naomi from North Carolina. Thank you for tuning into this. You guys, don't forget to share my stuff, by the way. Because of COVID, have been taken out of kind of the public eye, which is fine. I feel like energetically that's okay. But then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like I'm not out there and the world needs to wake up. I'm talking spiritually wake up, not for any agenda. Just we need to wake up to ourselves. Okay, so we need to find joy inside again. We need to find fulfillment inside. I think we do need to link to a purpose and a sense of meaning as a collective humanity. How you do that doesn't matter to me, whether it's through religious beliefs, through this, you know what I mean? Like, so it doesn't matter to me how, but I feel like we're waking up and I want to teach. That is my thing. So I want to be shared so that people who are supposed to find me, who are supposed to, resonate with me and challenge me in a nice, friendly way, because I don't freaking want to deal with like meanness, but we're growing and learning and evolving up together. So please don't forget to share me with, I know that sounds so full of myself, share me, with people who get it, people who would be intrigued. Okay, make sure. Also, I just released a free course. It's 30 minutes on my Teachable platform. My links are all over the place. If you can't find it, just email our office. But it's a free 30-minute course about how to get present, what that means, being in the now. It's quick, it's brief. I'm sitting in this chair in it. I'm talking to you like I am now. I'm kind of gracing over a couple thoughts about presence and awareness and being in the now and what that really means and the practical approach to it. Because I used to think about being in the now as like, I'm just so in the now. That's not how it is. Right. So I had this idea that I was going to feel dramatically different and very spiritual. And the more I'm like, oh my God, presence, I get it. I so get it. And presence gives me focus and clarity and compassion and inspiration and motivation. And it brings all these gifts of just the now. And so that course, it's free. I just put it up on my Teachable. I'll talk to you, ask you a couple of questions. Maybe you'll learn one or two things. I don't know. It's a silly little course that I just put out. So if you want that information, Greg's probably posting links, but it's Deborah Hanlon, my name, obviously, deborahhanlon.teachable.com. And then you just enroll for it's called the Online Center for Being, Knowing, Doing. You just enroll, free. You're not going to be asked for any money for this. And you could take the course in your own time. So try that out. Don't forget. So share me. And I'm such an asshole by saying that, but share my stuff with people you like and the Teachable and meditation. Yeah, thank you. Let's see, Kelly, I just took the course earlier this evening and it's exactly what I needed. Love the meditation at the end. Thank you, Kelly. So I'm hoping that I make this stuff real world. And not that like, golly, it's so spiritual. No, because we're human and we're fucking pissed. All of us, we're all crazy, right? Right? You guys admit that, right? We want to be really peaceful. We want to feel really safe and secure. But the world is a little off its kilter right now. It's all good. It's all fine. I call it dredging. We're all pulling up our stuff. And yeah, that's what's going to happen. But this is real world. It's me talking. I'm not like levitating. I will never levitate in this lifetime because I still say the F word way too much. Hey, thank you, Janine, for signing up for the Teachable. That little ding was a note. And yeah, and Janine again. That little ding was a notification. So thank you, wherever you are. Let's see. More questions. I know I'm talking too much. Well, I mean, that's the point, right? Let's see. I'm the worst. I need to call Michelle, having issues going forth from orientation. Oh my God. Michelle is a saint, you guys. She's a saint. Because I see everybody's email come into the office because I can't take my eye off at anything. Because if I see someone, I'll be like, oh my gosh, how are you? I haven't talked to you in forever, from like 15 years ago and stuff. So I watch everything that comes in. I don't need to. Michelle's got it. Michelle's way got it more than I do. And I see some things. All of you go, I'm the worst. I'm sorry. I'm like your worst client. I can't get this right. And I laugh because I'm like, no, she gets that 30 times a day from you guys. I can't download it. I can't find it. And she so patiently is like, here it is, guys. I know she's probably thinking, would you guys please get your shit together? She's probably thinking that. She's not said that, but I can only imagine. But you all think you're the only one. And there's like 30, messages a day that's like, I can't retrieve it. Help me. Do you still have it? Where's the link? And I do that to her like 30 times a day as well, where I'm like, I know, Michelle, you sent that email, but I can't find it. Can you resend? And she's like, so, sure, Deb, no problem. She's amazing. So let's send Michelle a lot of love. She listens to this every Tuesday morning, by the way. So we'll send Michelle lots of love and appreciation. Let's see. Yep. So my parents as funeral directors have told me that people are close to their death when they see their loved ones in a clear dream or daydream. As I said, yep, I agree. I hear that a lot. Oh gosh, my thing keeps skipping really fast. Hold on. Have I ever witnessed physical manifestations in a seance? I also hate the word seance. So I hate that they use that word in that movie or in that show. Again, what do you guys think of when you hear the word seance? I don't think of anything good. Like I don't think evil spirits or anything, but I think Ouija board, which is fine. Somebody asked a question about the Ouija board. Ouija board is not conjuring evil spirits. You guys, Milton Bradley made it. Freaking game, right? Like it's a board game. Your intention you're not summonings, you're not going to see like this vortex of energy pop through your Ouija board. I can assure you that. Could it be a tool? It could. Have I had experience with it? Absolutely. I wrote it in my book. I was a part of the first Ouija board. My first experience with mediumship or experiencing the other side was when I was 5 with a Ouija board. Not that I did the Ouija board, but I was witnessing other people do it. It's all in my book if you read it. So are you going to summons gods? No, you're not. Do you summons the Monopoly guy and all of a sudden you live, on Park Avenue? I couldn't think of the blue places on Monopoly. I say Pennsylvania Railroad. Are you conjuring that up and all of a sudden a railroad? No, it's just a game. So it's totally fine to do, if you're trying to do evil stuff, that's weird to me. I mean, that's just weird. That's just weird to me. I'm sorry, you might get offended, but that's why would you do that? If you could harness energy, why would you do weird, set negative, mean intentions? That's says a lot about your insides. So if your intention with a Ouija board is to hurt someone, you're not. You're just hurting yourself in some weird, creepy way. So no worries about a Ouija board, you guys. I have one downstairs. I have a cheese board. That's a Ouija board. We put our cheese in our crudités and what are those boards called now? Everybody has them and I can never say the word. You guys know what I'm talking about, the meat and the olives and all that stuff. I get charcuterie or something like that. Yeah. I have a Ouija one. I love it. Let's see. Let's see. People with near-death experiences. So have I seen a trance medium? No, I've never experienced one that was real. So I should note that my experiences are limited because I've never seen one that's real. I've been to a few that claim it. One was wretched and horrible, and I would say his name if I remembered it, which I don't like to do. But he was a disgusting human being, a total liar, cheater. I went in Westchester. Oh God, 10, 11, 12 years ago, probably. At this time, it was terrible. It was the most embarrassing thing I've ever been a part of for this person. Does every medium have the ability available to become a physical medium? You may not want to, but can it be developed? I do use physical my physical body as an experience as a medium. So like I will feel things. That's how my body, my mind, my energy, my experience is my tool. That's the tools I use. If all of a sudden, actually today I felt that there was a facial distortion, a pronounced facial distortion with someone. And that was, yep, oh my gosh, they had not only a stroke, but there was something else that caused it. So like I'll feel that. And like, will I literally feel it? Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, yeah. Other times it's just like the idea of a distortion or the idea that my arm is messed up or something. And today there was a person I spoke to, they kept saying they were deaf in one ear, deaf in one ear. And the person I was speaking to said, oh my gosh, I'm deaf in one ear. So I'll feel that in a way. And you guys do this too. I'm telling you, you do this. You just don't, you're not aware of it because you're so aware of like the monkey mind, the stuff that gets in the way, the idea that you're this being that you are very sure of who you are, meaning like I'm Deborah and I'm mother of 3 and I'm sitting in this chair right now and all that's true. But then there's a whole other layer and layer and layer to all of us. And that's the layer that we use to connect with consciousness. So I hate the term medium, as you guys know. I hate the term seance. So I'm thinking of like, what do I call myself? It's really, you know, what do I tell people? Not that I see people enough anymore to ask, what do you do for a living? But I finally came up with a description that feels right to me. It's a little like hokey, I think, but it's settling in. It's a consciousness coach. Consciousness is with us whether we're in the physical body or the other side. So when it's the other side, the consciousness coaching is connecting with the energies that are no longer housed in a body. And when I'm working with a client in the here and now, we're helping you gain consciousness and awareness of your current human experience so that you can evolve it, change it, move it, morph it, transform it, end it. Some of it's just like, okay, I'm done with myself there. So consciousness coach. So you're going to see me post that a lot. So you're going to be like, what? I thought she was a medium. You know, I'm playing with terminology because I don't like medium. Hate it. I get like, I mean, I always say like, my God, to my kids, like, do your friends' parents think like I'm a wacko? Like I would if I heard like, mom, so-and-so's mom's a medium, I'd be like, oh Lord, here we go. I know that's terrible. Isn't that weird? I have like an identity crisis with this, but such is life. This is how I am. Oh my goodness. Wow, Donna, I love that. Like those knowing moments. Oh my God, Helen, when I felt interrupted, that was your subconscious saying, don't ruin the ending. I won't ruin the ending of these movies and these shows. I am being aware of that for you guys. Oh, Joan did my course tonight. Being in the now. Loved it. Being in the now, you guys, it's nothing hard. It's me talking to you. It's me giving you some ideas. Play with it. Disagree, agree, you know, make it, integrate it with how you feel with it. So it's DeborahHanlon.teachable.com. Enroll for the online center Being, Knowing, Doing, and then you can click on being in the now. Let's see. I'm so curious about how you can read our energy in person or when we're on Zoom. I'm dying to know what you got from me. When I'm doing like meditations and my workshops now on Zoom, so when I'm talking to someone, your voice activates energy for me. I can't even explain it. I just know where people are at. I know, not when I say I know what you're thinking, I don't literally mean like I know what you're thinking, but our thinking creates a vibration and it puts a vibration out into the world. And I pick up on that vibration and therefore then know what you're thinking. Does that make sense? It's kind of like vibrational braille. It's like I can read the braille, the vibration, I can feel it. So if someone is saying, I'm great, Deborah, I love everything. And the vibration coming to me is like, no, they're not great. It's like, fine, but they're not great. I'll feel that and I'll be able to challenge that because that is not the vibration I'm getting right now in that moment. So when I'm on Zoom and in meditation, I'm checking in to see, where is this person in their meditation? Are they deep? Are they struggling? Are they checked out? Are they sleeping? Are they emotional? I'm just checking, and I'm not interfering with it. Your process is perfect. You're doing everything perfectly, you guys. So I'm just checking in on it so I get an idea. And sometimes as I'm checking in on it, I'm like, oh, I better say this because they're struggling with not doing it right. So then I know what to kind of say. That makes sense. Oh, let's see. Do I hear them out loud? Nope. I hear them in my mind's ear. I do. I used to always think you're born with it. And I do think what we're born with as a medium is the ability to do it for others. And I use the analogy of like, everybody can technically sing, but no way could we all do it professionally, right? So I think mediumship and connecting and I know being able to connect and being aware is something we all can do, but you might not do it like professionally for other people, but you certainly could do it for your own awareness and your own like growth. So I do think mediums who are going to work for others are not necessarily made. I'm obsessed with this. This is not just, I was gonna say, it's not just fun for me. I'm obsessed with it. I need to know everything about consciousness and awareness. What more can we do? How can we challenge our brains? I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I don't ever, ask Greg, I don't ever stop learning and reading about all things of this nature, including neurobiology, neuropsychology, spirituality, readings, some old texts. I'm really into yoga philosophies right now. So I never stop because I'm just like, oh my God. Oh, and if this means that, then this means that. Oh my God. I'm always in my head all the time. So that I don't think was created. I know I was born with that insatiable, like, I just want to know. I'm so fascinated by it. I could care less about how to cook a casserole. I could care less about keeping the house perfect. Well, that's not true. I want it perfect, but I just don't do it. You know what I mean? So like, we all have these things that we really like to do, so it's kind of like your innate propensity of what you like. Let's see. Kiki. Kiki, it's you, Carolyn. How long after a loved one passes do you wait to connect with them? You could do it immediately. I always feel like the first week after someone passed, week to 10 days, they're just like sitting in the room. They're just so like, wow, they're so present. And then for me, every medium's different, and every medium will tell you like, don't come to me for a year or right away. Everybody could be a little different. I tend to feel like between 10 days after they pass and about 6 to 8 weeks, I kind of feel like I lose them off of my radar. They're not as strong in that time. Having said that, I've read hundreds and hundreds of people who have passed in that time frame and they're loud as could be. So it's definitely not like a hard and fast rule, but sometimes like in a gallery, I'm sorry, not in a gallery, that's different. In a one-on-one appointment, if I don't hear them right away, I realize, oh, wait, this is kind of recent. They're off of my radar, if that makes sense. But don't take that as a hard and fast, like, oh, no, Deborah said you can't come for 8 weeks. Usually I kind of, at this point now, I say to people, because they're like, I don't know, should I make the appointment? I'm like, listen, if you get the appointment, you're supposed to come. Just, let's take my brain, your brain out of it. If an appointment is available to you and your loved one passed the day before or 4 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago, and you get this appointment, it was meant to be, and they'll come through. So just trust the timing. Thank you, Kate. See, my nieces Carrot and Marissa had scheduled time with you last week. I know, Sue. I did not know if any of this was released on social media, so I didn't say anything or post anything. My heart is broken with Kate's passing, like literally broken. I had an appointment with a woman last Monday. The daughters said, we have to get her to the doctor. She's not feeling well. I said, all right, I get that. I totally get that. She passed. And I love this woman. Oh my God, with all my heart and soul. She's been around forever. Her husband passed, or ex-husband, but they were like soulmates. Was the only non-family member that I've ever received a visitation dream from. I received a visitation dream maybe a year after Skitch passed. And in the dream, I was like, what are you doing here? How'd you get here? Nobody breaks through my firewall at night. How'd you get here, Skitch? So we'll see if Kate does. That'll be cool. Oh, wow. Wow. So Kate died at that moment. That's amazing. So that reading was not meant to be. Not meant to be. That's all it is. Let's see. You guys have had past near-death experience. It's so freaking cool to me. What is the oldest energy spirit that you've encountered, meaning era or century? My brain immediately went to one of the earliest ever. Long before I knew that I really could do this. Am I going to give the backstory? Short backstory. I'll give a short backstory. You know how every week, like when you're in prom senior year, it's like prom weekend, senior weekend, everybody like plans to like go to the beach and drink and stuff. I did not drink in high school. I had a brother who did a lot of that. So I was like, whoa, if I start that, I'm going to be really bad news. So I never drank, never did drugs, never did any of that in high school. So in high school, notice that I said in high school, never did it. Senior weekend, going to the prom, and a friend of mine, I'm going to the prom with like a friend, and his friend was the boyfriend of a friend of mine. So the four of us went to the prom together, and they said, we are going to go. Such an idiot. You guys are, I can't even believe I'm telling you. I've told this story before, but I can't. So we're going to go to Gettysburg for prom weekend. And I was like, stop it. That's going to be so fun. Me, who doesn't drink, right? I was like, that's going to be so fun. We're going to like get tan, and I'm going to drink. Now, like, one of these guys that I went to, he's amazing, brilliant guy, like Harvard graduate, like, went to Harvard. He probably has his PhD by now from Harvard. Super brilliant guy. And I didn't think I was like a dummy or anything, but they looked at me like, we're going to tan, drink? And I was like, yeah, right? Because isn't that what we do in high school? Prom weekend? Isn't it time? They didn't correct me. I thought we were going to Williamsburg, like I thought we were going to the beach in like Virginia near Washington, D.C. and stuff. So I'm thinking we are going to be on the beach. We're going to be partying. This is when I learned that Gettysburg is in Pennsylvania, site of the war. I know you guys are like, duh, Deb. I didn't know that in 12th grade. I was like, woohoo! Me, not party animal, clearly. I was like, woo, we're going to be party, acting like I'm all big and bad. Like, we're going to get drink. We're going to have Zima. We are going to have Zima on the beach, prom weekend. I'm going to get blasted on Zima, right? I was like, so badass. No, this little badass was in a car ride to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Didn't need to pack my bathing suit, but I did. And we're there anyway. So when I'm there, I'm like, this is weird. Why are we going like away from the beach? So stupid. Oh my God. So we get there and I'm like, what? You mean to tell me on prom weekend, we are going to be looking at graves of soldiers? What? Like, I was sick. Okay. And we didn't have cell phones, you guys. It wasn't like I could be like, Ma, help, get me out of here. Cause nope. So that's what we did. However, universe is smart. My friend who was a couple, they got into a big fight the whole weekend. So it was my girlfriend and I in one, and the boys went the other way. So we weren't even a four of us together. Like it was really whatever. Anyway, I'm big dork now. My kids are going to be like, Mom, please don't tell that story again. I'm so embarrassed. Anyway, we go to dinner at some house, some place. I don't know where I didn't know where I was going to, we're in this cobblestone, whatever house. And I said to them, I said, oh my God, do you guys feel her? I feel like there's this woman here and her name's like, and I'm making it up right now because I don't remember what I said, but like her name's Elizabeth. And I feel like she's got like 6 kids and I feel like she's up in the window. And do you guys feel that? Like she's like right here. And they were like, but I already kind of blew them away with like, where's the beach party? So I was like, oh, that's so weird. We leave that building and we look at one of those historic plates that said on this date, and this is the house. This was the house of Elizabeth, mother of 6 children. I think I said like, and I feel like one of her kids died here. Exactly what I felt, which I thought I was just being ridiculous. I don't know, was exactly. And I went, oh my God, that's so weird. I just said that. Like I felt her name, Elizabeth, 6 kids, 1 died here. I feel like she's up in the window and there was sightings have been seen of her in the window. Now, I had never been there. I didn't know I was going to freaking Gettysburg. You guys thought I was going to go party at the beach in like Virginia or something. I didn't know what we were doing. So yeah, long story to, I think that woman, whoever she is, and I probably will never go to Gettysburg again, but although I'm hearing, no, you will. So apparently I am. I will go back to that house to find out what that was. But I would say she is the oldest one that I can remember. Did I bore you guys with that story? That was not a boring story because that was an embarrassing story. I was such a dork. Thank you, Carolyn. Consciousness coach. You like that? Zima, thank you, Kate. It must have felt claustrophobic there. It was terrible. It was terrible. I love Gettysburg. I went twice in my 20s. Should have thought about more romantic trips pre-kids. Yeah. Absolutely. And honestly, I will retract because that was my little 18-year-old self being like, woohoo, party, Zemo, non-drinker here. But I do remember being like, whoa, I could feel the energy there. And that was pre-time. Like I didn't really talk about feeling energy back then, not in that way. So, yeah, it is a pretty cool place. So no, I'm not downing Gettysburg. I'm making fun of my 18-year-old self that I thought I was going to be on a beach somewhere with a Zima on my hand. Okay, so, oh my God, Mike, of course you would like that. Thank you. Todd, is it Mitchell? Yes, it's Todd Mitchell. Thank you. Oh my God. So how are we doing Facebook over here? Let's see. When you are with other mediums, do you have the same energies coming through as them? Would you see or hear the same spirit, another medium at the same time? Yes, that has happened a few times. Yep, which is so freaking cool to me. When we've done readings at my center, we'll both see, this woman and I would both see and experience the same. Did it happen every time? No, but it has happened, which is very cool because it's very validating. Because even though 20 years into this, which I can't believe I'm saying, because I remember thinking, I can't wait till I'm 20 years into this. I still have that like, no freaking way. This is crazy. This is cool. Like every day, I'm amazed at what is possible. I truly am amazed. Every day, every reading, I'm like, what? At least one line from every reading blows me away. And I'm not saying I blow me away. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like, this is crazy. This is mind-blowing, you guys. This is amazing, exciting. Why do we feel so small? Why do we feel so unempowered? Why do we feel so, just like, yuck? We're amazing. We're amazing. And we need to really start picking up on that and putting that out there. Let's see. The trouble with that definition is your belittling of your capacities. Thank you, Martha. Thank you, Jad. My hair looks good. I was so happy my hairdresser came to my house. She does that for me. She's on here tonight. And she colored my hair and she said, wow, your hair looks really healthy. And I was like really happy to hear that. I've been drinking a collagen drink. You just take a shot of it every day. I drink it right out of the bottle, you guys, because I'm the only one drinking it and I'm not going to keep pulling it into the shot glass. So I finally was like, I'm just drinking it. I'm like badass these days, quarantine. I'm just like, look at me. drinking out of the container. But anyway, I'm a heathen. I'll take a picture of me drinking my juice. It kind of tastes, it's just like water. Tastes like water. I have it on my Amazon store, what it's called, because of course right now I can't think of what it's called, but it's in my Amazon store. I love it. I had stopped drinking it and I started again, and my hairdresser said, "Oh my God, your hair looks so healthy." And I was like, wow, that was proof to me. So thank you. We can talk about energy, consciousness, power of potential, internal, and then we can be like, what nice hair products. This is how it goes here, you guys. Kendra, I don't have the access to, wait, I might, to yours. Yes, see, yours is up here. Do I have access? So, my thoughts, okay. Kendra, did you log on a little later? Because I did talk a lot about the series earlier. So if you missed it earlier tonight, then you can listen to the replay as soon as this is done. That way you'll be able to hear it. Yes. Kendra was asking before, are all of your obstacles and every step during a soul's time on Earth predetermined? Or can your course shift and change while still learning the same lessons? Is it like those alternative ending books where if you make one different decision, things can change? Also, for instance, if someone chose to take their own life, would that be part of their written plan, or did they leave early and have to start over again? These are great questions, and they're hard questions, and you worded them really well. So our first one, are all the obstacles in every step during a soul's time on Earth predetermined? So I like to explain it like this. I think 2 weeks ago, I was talking about that whole term, like we all come here with a lesson to learn, and how much I don't like that phrase because that sounds negative. Like we're here to learn a lesson. So it kind of sounds like the universe is going to teach you a lesson. And that feels scary. Like, oh man, what's my lesson? So I don't like that because it's not really how it works. So I interchange the word lesson. We're here to learn a lesson to we're here to have an experience. We're having an experience. So when you hear me say that, that's what I'm referring to right now. So say part of our experience on Earth is to experience loss. The actual details that you experience that loss can vary according to your free will, how you choose unconsciously to receive your lessons of loss. However, the lesson or the experience of loss is going to be built into your lifetime at that time. So you can kind of change. Is it loss of life? Is it loss of friendships? Is it loss of identity? Is it loss of your mind? So you can change the examples of the loss, but your experience here is still to experience loss. So in that case, it's kind of both. The overarching experience / lesson is something, and there's usually more than one, there's several. But how we experience that lesson can change. So that's one. Is it like those alternative ending books where if you make one different decision, things can change? It is and it isn't. So because that's something that there was a time where I was very obsessed with this one decision I made, not earth-shattering, this one decision I made in 8th grade. And I feel like it changed the trajectory of how I behaved. Do I want to even share? This is like, oh my God, you guys are going to be like, wow, Deb's a dork. So you guys are all like, yes, share your inner dork. Oh God, help me. Am I really going to share this story? I don't think I've ever shared this story. Okay, so when you're 13 And like you like boys and the boys like you and the girls and the boys and whatever. And I went to Catholic school and there was like 17 of us in the class since like first grade. So we grew up with these people. And there was a moment that this boy was kind of, God help me, was not luring me in a creepy way by any means, but I'm going to use the word lure because I need to break the tension of myself right now. So he like lured me into this place. He was adorable. I'm thinking back, like 13-year-old boy. He was so brave, right? And he wanted to kiss me, right? First kiss. People are like, your first kiss was at 13? No, much older. But anyway, I digress, people. So we did. And then he was like, I'm going to kiss you. And then I got super, super shy and super terrified and super like, oh my God, I can't do this. And I was like, no. And I kind of pushed him away and I felt really bad because then he felt like he was like pushing himself on me, which he wasn't. It wasn't creepy at all. It was adorable, but I got freaked out. And so I used to go over in my mind, like, what would have happened if I just kissed him? Like, what the hell, Deb? And I think now, 31 years later, I've settled this one in my heart and soul. I would have been such a slut. And I wasn't. I know, I could hear you guys laughing, right? And slut, I mean that in a fun way. So if someone's like, how dare you use the word slut, like, stop, please. I'm saying in a fun way. I definitely would have been loose, okay? But because I was not, that kind of set a template for me that I'm not like loose or was not loose. No, I am not loose. So many years. Why am I bringing that up now? Because you guys asked me a freaking question, right? You guys are laughing hysterically on Facebook. This is fun. This is helping me. So thank you. Keep laughing. So I used to think like, okay, I should have just kissed him. But then I'm like, no, because you would have kissed everybody. And then you would have known a lot more. And then God knows what would have happened to you. And I was very paranoid. That was like, 80s, 90s. That was still like, the whole AIDS thing was a big thing. So I was this like little timid, I was tall, but I was a little timid girl who was like, oh, I'm going to get AIDS from, looking at somebody. I believed everything. And I wasn't fearful or anything, but I definitely believed like, you can kiss somebody, you're going to get AIDS. So I was scared. And that would have changed the trajectory of my life. So I believed. And it bothered me for years, like 10 years, you guys, like a very long time. It bothered me because I wanted to know, like, would that have changed my life? And I do believe that it would have. And then I did a deep meditation around it because I thought I need an answer. And in that meditation, I saw what my life would have been like had I just kissed him then. I can't even believe I'm talking about this. And while the characters of my life changed, it all was still the same. I still would have become a medium. I still would have had 3 sons. I still would have lived in this area, Northeast New York. So there were many very similarities. And that's when I realized, oh my God, how I learn my lessons or have my experiences here in life, those are built in. But who I decide to do that with changes. So does that make sense, you guys? Does that like help a little bit of this, Kendra? You guys like, oh God, you guys are like, you're either going, oh my God, I like Deborah because she's a dork and I was a dork too. Or you guys are just like, oh, she is lame. She is boring. I am boring. I'm sorry. I'm boring myself right now. So yes. Did I have to tell that story? No, but I think it illustrated a good point. Okay, so that's why I shared it. I think it's the first time I ever shared that out of my soul to 100 people. Fantastic. So I just hope he doesn't see this. I hope not. Anyway, now for if someone takes their own life, So whatever causes somebody to take their own life. So say it's financial ruin and they're just terrified and they're going to take their life because they don't see a way out of this financial ruin. They make it to the other side. They get to experience peace. But in the next lifetime they reincarnate, since they didn't complete that experience or that lesson they were here to learn, since they kind of stopped the progression of their soul because they took their life and they stopped the lesson from being completed, they have to do it all over again. And I find that to be intriguing. Like, there had been times in my life where I was like, I'm out. I know way too much about the other side. Like, I don't need to be here. And not that I ever like wanted not to be here, but my mind is like, why the hell are we here? Like, can't we like do a shortcut to the other side? But I remember I would always think to myself, well, I'm not repeating it. I'm not doing this over. I'm not doing this lifetime over. So I'm going to just stick with it, see it to the end, the natural end. So they will then have that lesson to do. So, but thinking about that, maybe I took my own life in my previous life, which is why I'm here in this lifetime and I have to see this through. We might be in that middle of that we might be completing a former lesson we didn't complete right now. In fact, we are, whatever it is. So thank you, Kim. Kisses are like chips. You can't have just one. Oh my God, you guys are so funny. I like your comments. Oh my God. Will that stuff work on my bald spot? What stuff? I missed this. What? Oh, Greg, you should take the drink. It's good for your joints too, back, because ADD time. It's good for your joints. And I do notice joints, collagen, and something else, hair, and something else. I should have gone back and kissed him, lured him somewhere. Oh, I tried, Phyllis. I tried. We had a rendezvous in our senior year of high school. So, nothing crazy. Don't you guys get whatever. Okay. Thank you. You said I'm not a dork. Oh, can we do that sometime in meditation? I'd love to know what if. Oh, you know what? Let's set that intention. Maybe it'll come, because I don't plan the meditations. I anytime I've ever had like, oh, we're going to do this tonight, we never do it. So that's good to kind of hold in our minds, because that is a great one. That was super powerful for me. It ended that whole dynamic until tonight when I'm talking about it. I'm starting to sweat over here. Please, men never remember anything. He would not know it if it was him if he saw it. Oh, no, he would know. Remember, there's only 17 kids in our class. He would know. Did you read the book Proof of Heaven? He talks about the realm of the earthworm's eye view and it being unpleasant. Wondering if you have heard about the realm from others that have passed. I did read it. I'm not remembering that part, but I get the sense that an earthworm's view is a good analogy of like human view, actually, which I don't know if you're saying that's what he's saying, because I don't remember. I do know I read that book, but our earthly view is very, very limited and one-sided. The thing is we don't have to stay there. We can become much more expanded in our human experiences than we currently are. Greg is zipping his lip. Is that what that is? Or are you crying? I don't know what that emoji is. We need to see your senior picture. Oh, God. No, you don't. You don't. I came across it in the beginning of quarantine because I went through all my photos and I was digitizing them and I was getting all these. I was like, we got 30 days. I'm going to get so much stuff done in 30 days. Not psychic Deborah was like, no, you're in this for like 3 years, sweetheart. I know, 3 years. So I came across it and I was like, oh, you poor child. Poor child. I'm surprised people weren't mean to me because I was dorky. I definitely was. Had a short haircut. One girl was mean to me once. Yeah. Bitch. So anyway, Just kidding. Okay. Meditation with Deborah is awesome. Everyone should try it out. Thank you, Kate. It's fun. I like to have fun. I like to make things relatable. I like us to be human and evolving and in spirit. That's what I like. That's what I want. Okay. What if I like it? Set the intention. Yes. Get on the right line. We did get on the right line. Chris, we finally realized we got on the right line. Okay, let's see. Let me see any of my other questions here. Cheryl asked, can you see or feel events like yesterday's are going to happen? Yesterday's she's referring to, because this was written on Thursday, the Capitol events. No, I did not see that coming. I'm not really plugged into the news, or I have not. I don't normally. This week I have been. Not, and I don't watch media. I read everything, but I don't watch it because on the conscious level, on the vibration that I was talking about before, that I could feel vibration. I feel things, and I don't want to be swayed by that. So I like to read it because I stay in my centered space with that. So, so no, I did not see that coming. There's some other things that I'm starting to be like, oh boy, but you know what? We're good. We're good, guys, right? You guys were good. Right? We're fine. Yeah, it's good times. Here's what I can say, and take this in, you guys, really take this in. For those of you who are like a part of all my meditation groups, and I call the people who are taking my workshops, all that, I call you the lamplighters, that like we all have this light inside. And if I get to teach something that like makes your light a little bigger, you're going to pass that on to someone else and make their light a little bigger, and so on and so forth, right? And people that I learn from make my light bigger, and we're constantly in this chain of sharing and expanding light. I feel that that's my job in a way. It feels good for me. I feel like you are the lamplighters, right? And we can collectively keep working on our own energy fields, keep elevating ourselves to where we don't feel good. Take responsibility for your energy field only. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing, anyone else. Just worry right here. You change here, the whole world will change. So here's the lamplighters. Right now in spiritual history, right? I believe that we are in this really difficult but phenomenally amazing time. This is in my energy transformation awareness class, I call pulling up old stuff, I call it dredging. We dredge up all this energy, and we dredge up this old belief systems and these old tapes within ourselves. And I believe collectively our planet is currently dredging, which is a very difficult, horrible process. It doesn't feel good, but it clears the waters. It clears things. So there is an end, I believe, a very good spiritual end. I think it's going to get rough to get there. No, I know it's going to get rough to get there, as all of you know that. And that's not to be fearful. That's to just be like, okay, we're ready. We're prepared. We wouldn't be on the planet right now if we weren't supposed to be the lamplighters in this situation. So just hold on to that. Like, how is my light? Is my light dim? How do I get my light a little brighter? Because once you have bright light, people want to know, ooh, what's that bright light? What is that? And things start it's kind of like wildfire, like in a good way. We just start spreading the light. So I do believe that. Oh, my goodness. Susan is asking, oh, hey, Susan, how are you? Can I ever shut my talent? Oh, I'd like to hear talent. Or are you consciously connecting all day, every day? We're all definitely connecting unconsciously all day, every day, as I am, but I do definitely like shut it off. And sometimes I call it like my firewall. I have a firewall, like I'm not paying attention, but I'm aware that I'm not paying attention in that same way. So I do shut it off in that way. Thank goodness. Hey, Mary Ann. Oh my God, it's been forever that I've seen your name. Hope all is well. Who the hell goes to Gettysburg for prom? Yeah, I know. Isn't that ridiculous? Let's see. Anthony, Lisa, how come you feel an instant connection with some people and some you don't? Have we met in past life? Yeah, it could definitely be a past life. connection for sure, but it also could be just like that. When people say they have chemistry, there's energetic chemistry that you just feel. You can't explain it. So yes, a lot of times we definitely say like, oh my God, that's totally past life, which is accurate. But it could also just be like my soul is recognizing yours in this life right now, and we just match. It's chemistry. Certain ingredients go well together, certain don't. So, that's the difference. Does that make sense? Facebook is saying I'm adorable. You have to kiss a lot of frogs to find your prince. Yeah. Thanks, Nicole. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Authenticity is so rare. Good. I was turning like purple, you guys. I was so embarrassed. I'm like, I am telling the story. I'm a 13-year-old dork. Let's see. I'm trying to read. Renee is asking, hey, Renee, there you are again. Will we meet the same people we know now in another life? Yes, but it's not like definite. So I don't know that everybody in this life was somebody in another life, because but you will meet some people in this life that were a part of your last life. Does that make sense? So not everybody is a key player, from my understanding from past life research. So I'm not a past life regressionist, but that's my understanding. Okay. Yeah. So how do you communicate with our loved ones if they're reincarnated? Like how you said our kids say stuff that happened to them when they were older. How does that work? Great question, Christy. So there's like a really complicated answer to this, and there's a really simple that a medium told me like 20 years ago. because I had that same question, or 25 years ago. This medium, this is not quite the best explanation, but it was what I was originally given to understand it, which set me enough information for me to go, okay, I'm okay with that. But so imagine that a soul is in like two parts. It's not quite like literal, but imagine it's two parts. And it's sort of like this one part decides to stay conscious awareness without a body, and the other part decides to go into the body. And then when that body dies, that part of the soul goes out, and the other part that stayed up comes back into the next life. So the two parts are like in tandem, taking turns reincarnating. And it's a terrible explanation because it's not literal, but it does help pave the way for the explanation, which is that, and this one rocks everybody's world, all of our lives that we're ever already lived, and all of our lives that we're going to live, are happening right this moment. And now people are like, what? No, Deborah. 200 years ago was 200 years ago, but it's not. And it's so hard to grasp this because our brain is wired for linear succession. First, middle, last, beginning, middle, end, right? We're wired for that. But time is an illusion, because the truth is that we're all just energy. Hear me out, you guys. And this is science. This isn't some like weird kookiness. We're all just energy. And science has proved there's actually no such thing as matter, right? Like the chair I'm sitting on, whatever you're sitting on, the actual body, my hand, this watch, it's actually just an arrangement of molecules that I and you have trained our brains to see the experience as being physical or dense, which is why we see it as such. But the reality is that as we study all these molecules, you keep going to the smaller, to the smaller, to the smaller, to the smaller, to the smaller level. It's the very base so far that science has discovered is that we're all just vibration. that there's at the bottom, bottom. I know this is mind blowing. Like, wait, that can't be. I don't understand. At the very bottom, we're all just these vibrating, they call it string theory is one of it. It's kind of an old theory now, but it's this vibration and everything acts in vibration. So we are the accumulation of vibration that we're experiencing as Deborah right now. I know your brains are like, stop, shut up. What? No, please don't tell me that please don't tell me that I'm vibrating. Anyway, please, we are these vibrational matter beings. We're energy and we vibrate a certain frequency. And that frequency has no beginning, middle, or end. It just always is. It just keeps kind of morphing into shapes. So all of time is happening all at the same time, and we're all vibrating in kind of patterns. You can kind of, it's not quite accurate, but in a mind that needs to understand this, think of us like we're in this pattern and you're expecting this from this pattern. And so therefore I'm showing up in the pattern you're expecting. I know that's not a good answer. I know that's the answer, but I know that I can't drive this point home clear because our brains hurt when we talk about this. My brain hurts. Does that make sense, you guys? Phyllis, so you say, but we all see the same you. You don't. You're not all seeing the same me. So this is good spiritual work right here. So, hey, Gail, how are you? You're all experiencing me based on your perceptions and impressions and presumptions of me through the filter of what you can consume of me, what you're aware of me, which is a really, really critical thing to understand as humans. That nobody experiences the same thing. Nobody does ever. You're all listening to me, right? You're either looking on a phone, an iPad, a laptop, however you're experiencing this and hearing this broadcast. You're still all having a different experience of me. When you're in a room full of people, which I know we really haven't been, but when we're in a room full of people, and I illustrate this point a lot in my workshops, we usually sit in a circle. And I'll say, people say, what do you mean? Like, we're all in the same moment. And I will say, this side of the room is looking at the door. And this side of the room is looking at the wall. So if we were to describe this experience, and these people over here would go, there's a wall in here. There's a wall. I'm looking at a wall. There's no door. I don't see the door. We're looking at the wall. And then these people over here would be like, are you freaking crazy? I'm seeing a door. There's a door in here. Both are right. It varies what we see based on your perceptions, your position, why is this important right now? Because we need, especially now, to understand that our viewpoint is valuable and correct within ourselves, but it's just a tiny little viewpoint of a whole. It's not the whole picture. It's not the whole truth. Not one of us carries the reality of a whole truth. Not one of you know me in a way that is accurate, including myself about knowing me, because I'm only seeing a certain sliver. However, when we collectively all come together and we share our point of view, well, I think Deborah's really cool. I think she's very funny. Well, I think she's a stark raving lunatic. I think this collectively, all together is the only time we can see truth with a capital T. And I'm talking in spiritual terms, but I think it's, there's a bigger message here. We can't see anything clearly from our tiny little viewpoint. And we all hate that. We all hate that. We all go, no, because right is right and wrong is wrong. And this is the. And yes, but no. So isn't that cool? Do you guys, does that make sense? I'm always like so afraid, like, am I talking? And you guys are just like, wait, what? And then you turn me off and are like, screw Deb. So yeah, let me just read your comments as you're talking here. Oh, oh, hold on, I have to go. You guys, Greg, she's all yours. You're just so interesting to listen to. Thank you. I always wonder, like, am I boring you guys? Like, I was gonna say I could dance, but no, I mean I can dance, but I'm not gonna dance for you guys. Okay, so let's see. Have you ever watched Outlander? Nope, I haven't. If we're all just vibrating, wouldn't we see things differently? Yes, we would. We would. Except when we're in a similar vibrational pattern or frequency, we harmonize with the same frequency. And so when a large amount of people have this similar frequency, it is very clear to a large amount of people that this is the truth. This is what is. Until you have people over here that go, no, 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 because they're vibrating at a different frequency. And when we're talking frequency, there's no such thing as like this frequency is good and this one's bad. Frequency is frequency. It's not, there's no hierarchy. There's no right or wrong. It's just, here's this frequency, here's this. Kind of like a note on a piano. Here's the, I don't know what notes are. I never took music. A, B, C. Well, how does it go? Do, re, mi. I don't know, but you guys know what I'm saying? Like the C note and the not C note. Oh my gosh. So you guys are going to be like, no, she's smart, but she's really dumb at the same time. Fine. I accept that. But you guys know what I mean? So there's no, like the C note and the not C note. There's not one like, oh, that's a good note. That's a bad one. It's just like, this is this one and this is that. So that's the big problem in the world, is that we're not understanding things in this way. So we are so like, no, this frequency is correct. And these people are like, no, this frequency is correct. And they're both right. I know people are like, no, nope, I know. So we're just know that your vantage point is valuable, important, it's honorable. Have that power within yourself to hold your viewpoint, but have the humility enough to know, I don't hold the whole picture. I'm not right. I'm not necessarily right. You are right to yourself and you owe yourself that. That's totally allowed, but you're not necessarily the broad term right. Does that make sense? It makes sense, Kate says. Thank you. This is really important to really grasp, because this is where a deep collective awareness starts opening up. Compassion starts opening up. The ability to truly listen and hear all sides starts opening up, which is really, really important. Thank you, Renee. Matt, today is my son's birthday too. It's a special day in my book. I was told my mother who passes as guardian angel. Is this possible? Totally possible. It totally is. And it's my son's birthday too. How old is your son? Mine is 16 today. Let's say it's great to have you in our lives to light us up with hope, knowledge, gratitude, humor, and love. Thank you. Thank you, Carolyn. I'm never boring. That's good. I think my kids think I am. In Outlander, she travels through time at the same time, kind of. Oh, cool. Yeah. Kate, laughing and learning. Oh, maybe we should call this that. Learning and laughing and learning. And then it's sort of like, here's a quick break on how to get nice hair. And I'm saying my hair is nice because I'm taking that drink. I'm not being like, I'm full of myself with my nice hair, but I am happy with it tonight. I'm not going to lie. Thank you. A to G, then A to G. Oh, God, help me. Yes. And then there are people that are tone deaf and others perfect pitch. Yes, I see what you did there. How do you keep all this in your head and not go crazy? You not go crazy. You are. I think that's my worry, because it is a lot, but I love it. I love it. I love the science of consciousness. I love it so much because to me, I feel like it is so empowering and so freeing and so all inclusive and non-judgmental, and it's filled with true love. And I don't mean love in like love your neighbor, because I almost wanted to like stab the woman in front of me that took way too long to buy her stuff today, and she was very nonchalant, and then she packed her bags way too slow, and I was like, let's go, sweetheart, let's go, sister. So I am not always in a loving place, but I mean love in the sense of truth. Love as a sense of like, wow, I'm a really important being on the planet, but I'm not the only one. Hey. Sure. Chris wants to come on because it's his birthday.
No, I heard people were saying happy birthday in the comic. Greg said.
Matt's this guy's son is his birthday too. He's 21.
Happy birthday.
It's Chris today, and this is his birthday.
Shake hands.
Maureen, thank you. Thanks for putting the current chaos and political atmosphere in perspective spiritually. It's all good. Good will prevail. Good will prevail. But here's the thing, is when people think they're right, and don't hear me that I'm saying some people are right and some people are. I have my viewpoints. I definitely do. And those are not valid to me. They're valid to me. They're not valid to you guys. It doesn't matter. My view does not matter. And I mean that in a nice way. You know what I mean? So honor yourself, but even people who believe because I don't believe people are actually thinking they're doing something wrong ever in life, not just politically right now. Sociopaths will be like, yeah, I'm doing something wrong and I'm totally, but most people are not sociopaths. Okay. So even when we think we're good and right, we could be just as harmful with our righteousness. That's the word I'm looking for. So I think we all have to have that sense of humility of like, okay, this is my viewpoint and I feel very strongly about it. And I always tell the people, defend that, stay there. But just have the humility to know that it's not the whole story. And this is what's pretty cool to see, because that's when I feel connected with people. I had my hairdresser and I are on very different ends of the political spectrum, and we had a great conversation about it, a really great conversation. Like, it doesn't have to be so polarizing, because I'm interested, in hearing, and she was interested in hearing, and we both were like, yeah, but you didn't convince me, so I'm still sticking. And we laughed. It was great. So social media is definitely not the right place to air out grievances, because we can't understand tone and intention in writing.
Thank you guys for the birthday wishes.
Oh, this is my baby. Did you have a good birthday?
I did.
I actually made an appointment for your permit on Thursday.
Did you?
Yes, we got to study. Got to read.
Another test I'm going to fail.
It's far away. Thank you to Anne who told me about this, but we're going to Hudson, New York to take the permit test on Thursday. Oh my God. It's an hour away from us. So
yeah, car ride with Deborah Hanlon, guys.
Otherwise, it would be like 2 months locally. So shout out to Hudson, New York. I'll be
shout out.
On Thursday.
I'm going to go. Oh, I'm going to go.
Oh, how cute. Everybody's saying that.
And, can you do a dance for us?
I said something before about like I could dance, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to. No, that's when I need to have a drink with that. Not that drinking is okay.
It's amazing. No, I'm kidding.
No, you don't.
Of course I don't.
Why are you? Oh, wait, why are you? Oh, somebody else is saying that. So my phone must be backwards, what you're seeing. Someone else.
Yeah, because your face, wait, what do you mean by backwards?
They said, why are you wearing your ring on your right finger? But that's the second person that said that.
All right, because when the camera is flipped, if it was like the other way, like, you know how you take a picture?
Yeah,
and you're taking a selfie right now, basically. So if you take
it's backwards. Yeah, so this is my left hand.
But you can't, it's your left hand.
But it looks like the right.
What do you mean?
Matt said, hey, bud, happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right, you guys. So I think this is a good place to kind of end, because, you let yourself think, let yourself settle down inside. The good is winning. And I mean the good for all. I don't mean my viewpoint is good and someone else's is bad, although that's true. No, I'm just kidding. Just have the humility. Like, this is important. We're all charged. It's important to us, and it's okay to be important. It's totally, totally, like, completely natural to be in alignment. Just have the humility of going, okay, you know what? There's some things that people aren't seeing in the way that I'm seeing it, and they're not supposed to. Just like that example I gave before, like when you're in my center taking a class, we're not all in the same room because half the room sees this, half the room sees that. They're both correct with their view. Depends on vibration. So, oh my God. Yeah, what's up with that? Go ahead in there and block. That's so bizarre. So I won't even address the question. It's just a weird question here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a good night, everybody. I will see you whenever I see you. Make sure you go to deborahhanlon.teachable.com. Sign up for the course about how to be in the now. It's 35 minutes, 30 to 35 minutes long. You can do it. You just listen to it a few times. I'd love your feedback on it. So let me know your thoughts. And truly, you guys, like, I'm really amazed that people like actually stay on and listen on. So I just keep talking because you guys are still here. So please don't ever think that I don't appreciate you guys for totally tuning in and writing in and stuff. It energizes me and I love it so much. So thank you so much. Submit your questions to me on my Facebook page so that I can address them. Anything that I didn't get to tonight, I will get to. So good night, be well, stay in peace, and I'll see you all soon. So good night, Facebook. Good night, YouTube. Thank you.